ask yourself the damn question. Is winning the only thing we do?
Sports today are not just played on the field. They're played every day, online, all over the world, by sports fans just like you.
Don't you dare breathe. That won't get you anywhere. If you don't think you're a winner, you don't belong here.
The Star Fantasy League Show puts you in control of your own team. Find out who to sit, who to start, how to play, and have your daily fantasy sports questions answered with your host, Jonathan Sprung, and co-host SFL CEO Zach Stanley and Nick Steblenko. The Star Fantasy League Show is on the air now.
Hello and welcome to the Star Fantasy League Show here on the Sports Byline USA Network. I am your host, Jonathan Sprung, joined, not as always, by SFL family member. Welcome back, Jason Gringer. Welcome back.
I'm a little sad today, John.
Of course you are. You got to. I'm sad. What are you sad for today?
I spent all that time in the cage with the voiceover guy, and he still doesn't know my name.
Really?
He still thinks I'm Zach.
Are you? Hold on. Are you sure you're not Zach?
I might be slightly. I might have some part of Zach.
Okay.
I don't know.
We're moving on. I don't care what part of Zach you think you have, but that's a little weird. The man who's currently laughing so hard he can't get a word in edgewise is Teddy Bear 2 himself, Nick Steblenko.
You have a little part of Zach, huh Jason?
He left his spirit with me.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure that's what he left.
That's exactly. I'm sure.
No, you know what? Actually, I am sure that he left his spirit because he took whatever part Jason might have been talking about with him on a bromantic brocation down to...
Yeah, we keep joking about this, how Seth and Zach go on brocations, but they actually do. They are on a bro...
They took a bro selfie today.
They did. That's
totally
weird.
bro selfied it out, man.
They're in Miami, probably trying to start for the Miami Marlins. I'm not sure. Is that what they're trying to do?
It wouldn't be too hard. I mean, you know, we love the Marlins and whatnot because Jose Fernandez is in my lineup today. But other than that, yeah, no.
Would you call that a brophy?
What?
A brophy instead of a
brophy?
selfie?
A brophy, yes. They did
like
do a brophy,
that.
yes.
All right, today on the Star Fantasy League Show, we are not taking brophies. That's because we are breaking down every kind of lineup, all your fantasy needs. We're starting off the show today, like always, with NBA lineup breakdown with Nick Steblenko because I'm up 5-2, and I want to see if you can make up some ground on me.
Last night was really bad. I had a terrible night. However, I do want to bring something up for our listeners. It appears that every time you get to listen to my lineup, I don't get to listen to yours, and that happened last night when you made a last-minute change.
Sometimes that does happen. I like to make some last-minute changes.
Yeah.
Coming out of the break, we are breaking down your lineup. We also got John L's mailbag and all your value plays for Wednesday, and you're listening to the Star Fantasy League Show on the Sports Byline USA Network.
Now, let's get back to it. The Star Fantasy League Show. Feel free to tweet the show at SFL Show. Let's do this. Time for your Star Fantasy League's NBA Fantasy Lineup Breakdown.
That is right, man in the cage. You should probably learn Jason Gringer's name. Jason, why does he not know your name?
I'm not sure about that.
You should leave part of your spirit with him overnight.
I thought I did.
Oh, okay.
You got to win him over with saltines and rub-downs.
Oh, okay.
And let him win once in a while at Jenga, man. The cage man, voiceover guy, loves his Jenga wins.
Except when it crashes and all the pieces spill out and you can't reach them outside of the cage.
That's depressing. That's why we just buy him a new set. Just throw it all in there. I don't really care about it. It's like pick-up sticks. I don't care. All right, we got to get to this NBA lineup breakdown for Tuesday on StarFantasyLeagues.com. Nick, you going to beat me before the playoffs end or what?
Are you going to continue to talk smack?
Yes.
Then yes, I am going to beat you.
Regardless of if I win or lose, I guarantee I will talk smack on the Star Fantasy League Show.
And I will return the favor by beating you terribly tonight.
You do need to actually break 200
It's
to beat
going to
me.
happen, John.
Okay. I am very confident in your confidence. I think you are confident today, so therefore I have some faith in you.
I think.
What do you think, Jason? Do you think he's got a shot tonight before he even says it?
I think I'm ready for the spiel.
Okay, you know what? I love the spiel. Apparently, Jason loves the spiel. If you haven't played Daily Fantasy on StarFantasyLeagues.com, first off, what's wrong with you?
You only have so much time left. Hurry it up. Get on the site. Let's go.
It's true. I mean, let's be honest. There's games every single day for different sports, but basketball, you're running out of time to get into the second round. It's the last time to do it.
Oh, no.
You get a $100,000 salary cap, 2 guards, 2 forwards, 2 center, 2 utility. Any player you want, stay under that cap, get the most points, win the most money, unless you're Nick, obviously.
Play hockey.
Yeah, you still have, like 3 months left because it's the NBA.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Sadly, we won't be continuing into the conference finals because there's, one game a night. That won't happen. But
the NBA schedule is getting almost as bad as Major League Baseball, where literally the season ends, and a month later it starts up again.
Yeah, that pretty much happens.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Oh. All right, before we just start bashing the NBA, that's Jonathan's mailbag time.
Actually, I have a lot of respect for the NBA today.
Yeah,
we'll get to that later.
Well, we're definitely going to talk about that. That's obviously a big deal that happened today. But we need to start by
right.
Where are we going to start today?
Well, we're going to start with the LA Clippers and Chris Paul as my first guard. He was Zach's play of the day from our show yesterday, and given the news that we've just been given, I think that he's going to come out, and I think the whole team is going to come out with a lot of confidence and a lot of calm, and I think they're going to blow the Warriors out of the water. I'm sorry, Jason.
I still don't agree whatsoever. I don't think you just, bounce back right. This is something that, it's a big deal to the franchise. You don't just snap your fingers, oh, we're better. We're fine.
I'm going to try and keep this as short as I can, but think of it this way. One day, you're working for the worst owner that you could ever imagine, the worst boss in the entire world, and then you want him done. You want him fired. The very next day, or 2 days later, whatever, you learn that the boss is no longer around. How do you instantly feel? You instantly have a weight off of your shoulders, and you can immediately go back to being the person that you were before without having to worry about that stuff.
Well, do they really see him on a day-to-day basis? Was he really that involved with the players?
It's the feeling of playing for somebody that you don't want to play for, or being an employee of somebody that you don't want to work. Have you ever had a job where you've literally worked every single day because you have to? You have to pay your bills, you have to feed your family, whatever it is, and then every single day you go in and you're absolutely miserable. You don't put out your best work.
It's this job, right? Don't we all hate this job?
Yeah, I know. I come in with a miserable smile on my face every
We get
day.
to talk about sports for a living. We must hate our jobs.
So all I'm saying is, you come in and you finally realize that this boss is no longer around. You don't have to play for somebody that you don't appreciate, that you have no respect for. I think this is going to be an enormous weight off their shoulders. The Clippers players don't have to do anything in terms of a show of who they are or what they're about. They don't have to do any more of this, turn your jerseys inside out. They're no longer the topic of conversation. They are not the center of the discussion. They can play basketball, get back to what they know doing. That's all there is to it.
All right, you jumped into about 8 other different conversations.
You're right, I tried.
We're trying to just break down fantasy. That's the point of the fantasy lineup breakdown, not the,
all right,
hearts and minds.
It's hard.
Players.
It's difficult today.
All right, so you still love Chris Paul.
Okay.
I didn't touch anybody on this Clippers team, to be honest.
You can go one way or the other, really.
Same
It's
here.
a roll of the dice. But
you didn't touch him either?
No
Okay,
Clippers.
Yeah, that's kind of my line of thinking. Zach and Nick both like the Clippers tonight. I love the Golden State Warriors tonight, personally.
Fair enough. My second guard is going to be Tony Allen. You have been really high on him, and for good reason. He's playing great, and he's far surpassing his value.
Correct. His value is there. He's been regularly in the mid to high 20s, if you can believe that. This is a guy during the regular season that averaged probably 14 fantasy points a game.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's what you need in the playoffs. You need a guy that's going to be playing a lot of minutes and actually producing during those minutes.
Correct. And he's still under 10,000 on StarFantasyLeagues.com. Get him in your lineups.
Got to do it. All right, my forwards. I have Nene. He's at 12,645. I think he might be the reason that they move on. I mean, he's been the X factor in this series.
Yeah, the X factor meaning when he doesn't play the second half, they lose. So
yeah,
that
or
happened.
last game.
No, but they won that one.
Yeah. So theory could be a little off there, but
well, no.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, before he was a part of this team, they didn't really have the best odds to beat Chicago. He gives them an edge. He gives them a different part of their game.
Yeah, he'll go out there and headbutt somebody for you.
Yeah.
You need somebody like that on your squad.
You do. You need a Dennis Rodman.
It's like having a Ty Domi on your hockey team.
Oh,
you got to have one of those.
You had to bring hockey into it.
It's like having a Bob Probert, if you will.
Oh, my Lord.
Man.
Or a Marty McSorley. You just chop him over the head with a stick. All right, my second forward is going to be Draymond Green. He's really only had one really off game this series.
And
the other
also,
ones he's been pretty solid.
He's moved into the starting lineup now. I think the team is a lot more dynamic with him at starting at the 5.
Yep.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think they. What do you think?
Well, yeah, it's a great move. Actually, Mark Jackson said that Jermaine O'Neal came to him and said, "You got to start Draymond Green over me," which is a pretty big move. I mean, the guy's a vet. He's at the end of his career.
He's a dinosaur.
Steps up for the team. I think a great move.
I'm really glad that you told me that because I clearly had no idea that was the case. I have Jermaine O'Neal in my lineup.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have Jermaine O'Neal as well. I
know, but him starting is certainly better than him.
No, I actually don't think that's true at all because
really?
He's going up against DeAndre Jordan, who, let's be honest, he can't really bang with him at all. He's 95 years old and I met him in Las Vegas. Before he signed with the Celtics, he looked like he was walking like a 95-year-old man. And they 4 days later they signed him. And I was like, man.
How would you describe his walking? Like a 95-year-old man.
Looked labored. He looked very labored.
Most guys that are 7 feet tall usually don't skip down the street.
No, but you could just tell he was visibly limping. This was during the off season.
Limp.
It didn't look good. But I actually like him going up against the second team.
Yeah, I mean he's 7,900.
They have nobody off the bench that's big. They have no third big man. He can easily take Glenn Davis. I think that's a bigger advantage. I think that's why he wanted to be on the bench.
It probably is.
Yeah, he's like, I don't like DeAndre Jordan. He's kind of beating me up inside.
He's either a team player or selfish.
A jerk. Yeah, it's Jermaine O'Neal. He's probably a selfish jerk.
Coach, that guy's too big.
Yeah, really.
All right, my second center is Taj Gibson. He's 11,842. The only thing I'm worried about is if all of a sudden Washington comes out and starts really beating these guys up and the Bulls give up.
Yeah, then Taj Gibson will play more because Carlos Boozer will sulk. He won't play any of the third and fourth.
I don't know that there'll be very valuable minutes at that point.
Taj will make sure. He's one of those guys. He loves garbage. He's just a professional.
He stepped up last game, pretty much, taking over the scoring role for that team. Scored 32 points. Even though they lost, but
I think I found a way to actually get a positive response out of Jonald when I'm putting out my team here. Just talk a bunch of crap about players that I'd like in my lineup.
No, I mean, honestly, all the guys you've said so far, I have in some version of my lineup except for your top play, Chris Paul.
All right, fair enough. My two utilities, I'm going to go with Klay Thompson and Serge Ibaka. I love Serge. There's no reason not to have him in. He's been doing phenomenally against Gasol and Zebo. And what do you mean? He's been over 30 points easily every time, and most of the time he's pushing 40 at least.
I like Ibaka. I got him in my lineup.
Yeah, he's under 16,000. How could you not have him in?
I have a lineup with him and Curry in it. Those are my two big guys. And then I have a lineup without him because I don't know what you're going to get. I mean, I'll be honest. I think Memphis really comes to play in this game. I think this is going to be one of the lowest scoring outputs of the series. It should be, right?
Could be, yeah. What about Klay Thompson? What do you think of him? I mean, he's under 12,000. So, you love the Warriors tonight, so I got to assume that he's going to be in your lineups.
The funny thing is he actually isn't in my lineups. I ended up going with both Trevor Ariza and Bradley Beal in different lineups where I could have put in Klay Thompson.
I've got Klay.
Yeah, you like Klay? Of course you do. Mr. Homer. Do you have any Oakland Athletics on your team?
No.
Oh, good. At least we know that you don't know what sport it is sometimes. All right, coming after the break, we just had a lot of announcements made, a big announcement, and we're talking about it at the top of Giants Mailbag. And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on the Sports Byline USA Network.
The Star Fantasy League show. Information is key to being a successful fantasy team owner, and the guys have all the updated info you need right now. Okay, fantasy sports fans.
There's a letter in your mailbox.
Time to dig into Donald's mailbag for your questions and comments.
Read the mail, read the mail, read the mail.
Jump in the game. Send your questions and comments to the Star Fantasy League's team by tweeting at SFL Show.
That is right. Mr. Cage Man, tweet us at SFL Show if you want to have your voices heard. I know Nick hates when I say that. I don't care.
Why don't you care?
Because I can say, have your voices heard, and then the people that are listening will understand what I mean.
Yes, they will understand it, but grammatically speaking, in the English language.
You mean contextually?
What you said.
Contextually, not grammatically?
Whatever. Fine.
The grammar was fine.
Yeah, so you're going to correct me. Here we go. All right.
Of course I am.
Get on.
All I want to say is we spent all of Donald's mailbag yesterday just ripping Donald Sterling a new one and what a scumbag he is, and all I want to say is ding dong, the witch is dead.
I mean, it came down. It was actually official.
He's not literally dead. Maybe.
I have a feeling.
As a talking point on the show, I'm pretty sure he's dead after today.
Yeah, figuratively speaking.
Our first question is obviously about that, so we're going to jump right into it. Stephen S. writes, Adam Silver just banned Donald Sterling from the NBA for life.
Yep.
What are your thoughts about this unprecedented decision? This is like Pete Rose being banned from baseball, except, this guy's actually a real scumbag.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, somebody else said something about George Steinbrenner, how he had actually received a lifetime ban that got recanted and whatnot.
Because he's insane.
We've never seen something this egregious. This is unbelievable. And I am very, very happy and proud of what Silver did as commissioner. This is his first real big act as commissioner, and this is not easy to stand up in front of really the nation, because as you saw in that press conference, it wasn't just ESPN and NBC Sports. It was any news media outlet. This is way bigger than just basketball, way bigger than sports, and I thought he handled it very well. I thought he did a great job.
Do you think he threw up before that press conference like Eminem in 8 Mile?
Wouldn't you?
Out there? I wouldn't be surprised if he did. He looked a little shaken there to start out with.
Would you be surprised if he came out and started spitting it on the mic, though?
I thought at one point when he said banned for life, he should have just taken the mic off the mic stand and just dropped it and said, "I'm out."
Yeah,
that would have been amazing. That would have been
Silver out.
Yeah, and it was like, we'll take questions now. No, we won't. And just walk out.
I think the punishment fits the crime in this situation. I think one of the biggest questions going in for me. How do you prove that this was Sterling on the tape? I don't think any of us have ever really heard him talk. Yes, obviously. I'm sitting here, I'm like, we have to make sure that we do the due diligence that is expected of us before you jump all over the guy. And the fact of the matter was that he ended up admitting it to the commissioner. So hats off to them.
You support? Yeah, you were supporting Donald Sterling.
I was not supporting him
you
at all.
You said, "Oh man, this is going to come. This is going to be fake."
I did
Donald
not
Sterling
say
for life. I'm a fan.
None of that. Everything that you're saying is a bold-faced lie right now.
We're like First Amendment. First Amendment.
One of my biggest things is, as being in the media, you need to make sure that you do your job properly. You need to do your research. You can't just spew facts and all sorts of... Yes, I know exactly what you're about to bring up. Stop it.
That's what I do.
Yeah, okay.
I just come out... Well, when Seth used to do the show, he'd come in and go, "Yeah, I didn't do any research today. I just showed up."
No,
you can if you're part of the media.
Yeah,
I do it.
You have a job to do, and unfortunately I feel that in our society, media has taken a back seat to truth and just let the rumors run wild.
Yeah, that's what TMZ... I can't believe, after all this, TMZ broke this story, and they're the least viable... Well, I guess can't say news source.
No, they are.
They're the worst. They're the scum of the earth.
They create news.
Correct.
That's what they do. They manufacture the news.
They're not the National Enquirer.
Yeah,
okay, the National Enquirer is... They're looked upon because it's funny when they make stuff up. TMZ tries to make things and be like, "Well, this is news because we said so."
They attempt to create things. I mean, the fact is, like, he ended up admitting it to Commissioner Commissioner Silver. Silver. Come on, Sterling Silver.
That'd be really funny. If they made a superhero team of Adam Silver and David Stern, Sterling Silver would be amazing. I would love that.
Yeah.
Well, as a Warriors fan, I was kind of hoping this announcement would come out tomorrow. So it'd still be hanging over the Clippers' heads tonight.
Yeah, hold on. Can we talk about this real quick? I don't want to take it on a weird tangent, but Mark Jackson saying that the Clippers fans should boycott this game by not going. Does he realize that he's like, "Oh, you're putting money in this guy's pocket"? They've already bought the tickets. The game's already sold out. If you paid this money and didn't go, who was that hurting other than you?
Yeah,
he wasn't saying just the Clippers. He said Warriors fans as well.
No,
so everybody.
Okay, but then Warriors fans, they paid the money. Unless their owner pays them back for the money they paid, then you're an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, like John, I think what John's saying is these people already bought tickets.
Right.
There is no reason to not go if you have a ticket in your hand.
Yeah.
Now, if the game was not sold out, not buying tickets to the game actually says something. However, he is also the coach of the Warriors, and that would really help his team. So I don't know that. Yeah. I mean, I got to imagine that the initial feeling from him is coming. It's an African American man in America that had to deal with this. That's
player,
where he's coming from first.
His heart is in the right place, but his statement was really stupid.
Yeah, it's just
he's like, "Oh, don't show up. We're gonna still win that game."
Yeah, fight the power.
That'd be really funny if all you saw at the game was ushers.
That would be amazing.
Just a bunch of ushers.
That would be pretty funny.
I would love that.
It would.
That would be incredible.
I still think the Clippers are going to have a tough time tonight.
I think there's a lot hanging over the head. Everybody's watching. It's a lot of added pressure that shouldn't be there. And I think
the pressure's gone now.
No.
Okay, but everyone is still
game back.
Everyone is still looking at the franchise like they're looking like what's next? What's going to happen with this team? There's a lot more than just he's gone.
What's going to happen with this team? You already know.
They're forcing a sale. It's a big deal.
So they're going to be sold.
I know it's an unprecedented measure. It's not as cut and dry as you're trying to make it out.
It is way more cut and dry than I thought it was going to be. It's very simple. Donald Sterling is an owner of a team right now.
There's going to be a lot of stuff that happens.
That's fine. But in the immediate, in the here and now, first of all, they weren't on a break. There was no break here. They had to deal with this for one game.
What is this, Friends?
One game.
We were on a break.
No, he said this is their first game back. What do you mean?
Well,
they haven't ever taken time off.
They're getting a lot of extra media attention that they maybe wouldn't get, even though it's the playoffs. They're getting a lot of questions about this stuff that they usually wouldn't get. It's a lot of extra baggage.
And don't forget, Doc Rivers basically said, I think it was yesterday, that he's like, I don't know if I'm coming back to this team. How do you feel if you're a player and your coach basically says, well, I may not be back next season before you're out of the playoffs this year?
Okay, and he said that in response to Sterling being the owner, right?
This is true, but that doesn't change.
He's not there anymore. That's the biggest thing, okay? There's one man that said a number of things, and he is gone. He is not there. They don't need to answer questions about him anymore. All those questions can be directed to the league or commissioner. The commissioner.
Oh, my God. Nick's head is about to explode.
Oh, my God.
We have spent almost 20 minutes talking about what's his name again?
Exactly.
Donnie who cares what his name is? We don't want to talk about him anymore. We're moving on again to Nick. Every time we get all hectic and riled up, I give you something to calm you down.
Thank you.
NHL talk.
You're starting to know me, John, and I appreciate that.
It's like giving you a salt lick if you get all riled up. What happens? Somebody needs a salt lick. Whatever.
Give me some salt.
Yeah, Jimmy B writes, the LA Kings staved off elimination to force a Game 7 on Wednesday.
Boo.
After coming back from a 3-0 deficit, is all of the pressure now on San Jose? Can they finally close out the Kings at home? Seriously, what is it when you come back from down 0-3? It's got to be on their team, right? The pressure?
The pressure is all on San Jose.
Yeah.
They have had 3 chances to close the series out now. They're going on chance number 4. What makes you think that they can actually get it done now?
Well,
I don't have a lot of confidence.
We keep saying ride the goalie. Quick's given up 4 goals in the 3 wins as opposed to the team giving up 17 in the 3 losses.
Yes, but in the past 2, he's only given up 1 goal.
1, correct.
So Jonathan Quick has certainly showed up, and that's not good.
You could say he's very quick.
Yes, he quickly came into the game.
Well, and the Sharks now, they have goalie controversy on their hands. Who are they going to start? Stalock started last game. Are they going to go back to Niemi?
Yeah, I think they will go back to Niemi, and I think that San Jose is going to pull out a win. And I don't know how.
Because you picked them to go to the Stanley Cup Finals, didn't you? That's why.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Todd McClellan still claims that they were cheated last game after that first goal.
I mean, I don't know why he continued to say that after he saw the replay. The puck was clearly sitting right behind his skate, and the referee was behind the net looking at the puck. That's a live puck.
Yeah.
So now if I was a coach, I would still be upset because the guy didn't get the puck. Justin Williams didn't hit the puck. He pushed Stalock into the net.
Yeah.
So I would still say that's like goaltender interference, and yeah, maybe you did get cheated, but unfortunately you are staring Game 7 in the face, and you're focused on last game. So time to move forward.
We're talking about 1 Game 7. There might be 2 more. We know for a fact Wild Avalanche is happening on Wednesday, but an unprecedented back-to-back might happen with this Rangers Flyers. Have you ever seen anything like this before?
I think I have, but I mean it's something the NHL would do well to avoid in the future.
Yeah, especially Game 7. It's like, okay, you just played Game 6. Go play Game 7 in a different city.
Exactly. Well, I mean, the Philly and New York are not very far apart.
But anytime you play a game and then you have to go travel, no matter how far
I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, if Philly pulls it out tonight, they're playing right now. If Philly pulls it out tonight, then we'll have a Game 7. I think the Rangers will win that one easily if it comes to that.
So what do you think? There's two games we're talking about. Do you think there is a Game 7 with New York or no?
No.
No, so you think they end it in 6?
I think they end it, yep.
All right, then what about this last game? Every other game has been won. It's basically a home team series. Yep. So should we assume that the Avalanche close out?
I'm going to guess that they will. I'm not going to assume anything because it's Game 7. Anything can happen.
Okay, you're going to be one of those guys who makes I'm not going to make a pick. I'm just going to...
No, I'm not. I'm picking Colorado.
Okay, because you're like, I don't know what's going to happen.
I'm picking them, but I'm not going to assume they're going to win.
Well, the best
contextually, what I said was...
Oh, good. We're going back to contextually, even though I'm the one who brought that up.
Grammatically speaking.
There we go. Thank you. What were you saying, Jason?
I was going to say overtime in Game 7 is like the best thing ever.
I really hope we see one, man. I really hope we see one.
You are okay. You're getting really excited again. I'm glad that John Ellis.
And I hope it's in the King Shark series, and I hope the Sharks pull it out so I can say some choice words about Jonathan Quick.
Is there anything worse than being in a Game 7 in overtime on the road, having the road team score, and then the home team just go, "Oh, we're done. It's over."
You get to go home to your bed. Imagine being the road team and you got to travel back to your city.
That series might be over. John Ellis' mailbag is over. Coming up, we got your value plays of the day for Wednesday on StarFantasyLeagues.com. And you'll see the Star Fantasy League show on the Sports Byline USA Network.
Play fantasy sports for cash prizes. Join the top daily and weekly fantasy leagues in the country at starfantasyleagues.com. Now, back to the Star Fantasy League show with Jonathan, Zach, and Nick. Only on the team.
You could not be more wrong. We are back with Jonathan, Nick, and Jason.
See, that's what I'm saying, though. He could be more wrong. He got 2 out of 3. You got to give him some credit.
Okay, if 2 out of 3 was a thing, we could boot Zach from the show according to the NBA bylaws. You need a 2/3 majority vote to
Three
kick
quarters.
it.
3/4. 3/4 is 75%.
I thought they said 2/3.
No, 3/4.
See?
Oh.
However, we have Jason here. Jason, what's your vote?
4.
He's 4, getting rid of Zach. See?
Yes,
I knew it.
Zach is gone. Nick votes Zach gone. All right. Coming up on tomorrow's show, Zach's gone. Zach's official send-off of the show.
His official send-off
Well,
that
he will
won't
be
be here
gone.
for.
I know. That's what I'm saying. We're giving him his send-off live. And the funny part is he's probably listening to the show right now.
Hi, Zach.
Yeah, sorry, Zach. See you later.
He's probably not.
Bye-bye.
He's probably partying. They're in Miami on South Beach probably with the Miami Heat since they're not doing anything right now.
Apparently with Will Smith because he's always there.
Yeah. He's always going there.
Yes, he is.
He's always welcoming people to Miami. Yes, that kind of happens. All right, we got to jump off this random tangent that we love on the Star Fantasy League show. We got to get into the best part of the show is giving you value plays for StarFantasyLeagues.com across all 3 sports. Yesterday's show we didn't have NHL because there was only 1 game.
Yep.
But in today's landscape for Tuesday, it is Tuesday today, right? Not tomorrow, not the next day.
It is the
Tuesday.
day that ends in a Y.
So for Wednesday, we are giving you all the value plays across NBA, NHL, MLB, starting with Jason and Major League Baseball.
Well, if you were listening yesterday, Zach told you Joey Votto was the batter of the day. You could go with him again since there was a rain out yesterday and this matchup is back on. But we'll take somebody else. I'm going to go Adrian Gonzalez for the Dodgers at Minnesota. On the year, he has 8 home runs, 23 RBI. He's on a hot streak right now. He's homered in 3 of the past 4 games. He's going up against Mike Pelfrey, who in his career he's got a double, 2 homers, 3 RBI, 2 walks against. But Pelfrey has been downright awful this year, sporting a 7.32 ERA, an 0.2 record, and he's only had 8 strikeouts and 1.88 whip.
Okay, if your ERA is almost higher than your strikeout total, you're bad. That's really bad.
That's not good
Very
at all.
bad.
That's very bad.
What I was going to say, we're getting to the point in the Major League season where you're starting to see some of those guys that started off a little bit cold start catching a little bit of fire, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, some of those guys that are, there could be a lot of value out there, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, his salary's at $9,000, so he's still up there pretty much because of the recent hot streak, but he's still a great play.
Right on.
Yeah, I have noticed a lot of these bigger names are around like the 7,500 range, only because, they have just started off. A lot of guys start off slow, just, Mark Teixeira's entire life. He's one of those guys.
Yeah, Miguel Cabrera's down like 6,500.
I saw that. Yeah, what's happening with him?
I don't know. I guess because they lost Prince, he doesn't really have that protection anymore. Kinsler's batting the 2-hole. What you gonna do?
I don't know. What are we going to do? We're going to give you
the pitcher.
Yeah,
right?
we're going to give you a pitcher to go. If you don't like hitters, we're giving you a pitcher.
All right, pitcher for tomorrow is going to be Aaron Harang for the Braves at Miami.
Again? Are you going with Harang again?
Well, he was my value play before.
Oh, you had
He's
him,
up to
though.
12,000 now, just because he's only allowed 3 runs all year.
How about that?
Last start against Miami was last week. He went 6 innings, 11 strikeouts, 1 run, 1 walk. I keep thinking he's going to fall off at some point, and his next start's he's going to get blown out. But it just isn't happening, so all aboard the orangutan train.
Orangutan, nice.
How about that?
How about Atlanta, a team where they had so many questions going into the season as far as pitching goes. Now they have 3, maybe even 4 solid starters.
Yeah, that's something with Braves always have great pitching.
Of course they do.
Them in Oakland, they've always got great starting pitching. No matter if they're coming up through the minors, getting free agents, it seems like there's always great pitchers in both those
But they
cities.
picked up Irvin Santana.
Yep.
That one just kind of came out of nowhere. A lot of people were thinking, wow, this guy could be a fall-off.
Yeah, picked up Harang as well.
Yeah.
So
Good for them.
All right, that's your MLB value plays of the day for Wednesday. We got to get into NHL. There are potentially 3 games. Obviously, we said that New York Ranger game is currently going on as we do this show. So we don't know if there is a Game 7, but we're going to prepare as if there is a Game 7.
Yep.
So how about that game? Let's start with that game.
Yep. Rangers are up 3-2 going into tonight, so if they win, they close out. If they lose, obviously we have the Game 7. They've really controlled this series. I don't know how Phillies actually managed to stay in. Steve Mason stole 1 game for them. And
I know.
What?
They scored more goals than New York.
You know, that's a famous quote from my high school hockey coach. If you score more goals than the other team, you have a good chance of winning the game.
That's the John Madden famous quote.
Yeah, that's great.
You win the game by scoring more points.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Very simple. So the Rangers, they really have been in control of the flow of the game, so I really expect them to come away with this series. So if they end up going into a Game 7, love Henrik Lundqvist, and I love Marty St. Louis, who has had a bounce back into the playoffs, and it's a great time to have one. So,
a revival. He's had a revival.
Exactly. I still love that third line, Zuccarello, Pouliot, and Brassard. They're just so consistent. They get pucks to the net. They make it work. So there shouldn't even be a Game 7, but I will take the Rangers.
Okay, move on. We don't. If you don't even think there's going to be a game,
Rangers.
Yeah, we're not going to waste our time talking about it. We just wanted to get the listeners, in case that happens. It's, if it says in case this happens, to be determined.
Yep.
Those are your to be determined names.
There you go. So Minnesota, Colorado.
Game 7.
Game 7. I am very excited to see this one because Minnesota has really, really shown that they can stick with just about anybody in this league. Colorado is a high-powered offense, and they have a fantastic goalie in Semyon Varlamov.
Semyon, my guy.
That's your boy. But in this series, everybody's been winning at home. So they're going back to Colorado. The edge goes to the Avs. They have figured out last night was really a one-goal game. I know it ended up being 5-2, but there were 2 empty net goals. So discount both of those, and it's 3-2. That was a great game. But I'm going to say it's up to the goalies in this one. I'm gonna lean towards Semyon Varlamov, but Darcy Kemper, remember that name. Remember that name for the future. He's been a really good rookie goalie. Matt Duchene is back, though. He played in Game 6. He had an assist, 19 minutes on the ice, which is actually a lot more than I expected. He has to be a factor, so I'm going to take the Avs in that game. I don't know. I was kind of surprised Minnesota hung around, but Captain Zach Parise last night, 2 goals and 2 assists. Man, that was really good.
All right, you got to get this last game in and give us your top skater and top goalie then.
All right. L.A. at San Jose. Jonathan Quick finally showed up. He's only had 1 goal against in the last 2 games. Their defensive style is really frustrating the Sharks, so the pressure's really all on San Jose. And I think whoever scores first is going to have the immediate advantage, and I think that's going to be who wins the game. The logic says to pick the Kings because they're on the streak, but I'm sticking with my Stanley Cup pick. I'm going to defy logic, which is pretty much what has happened in this entire series.
Good, don't flip-flop. I hate flip-floppers.
So I'm taking the Sharks. As far as plays of the day, if the Rangers play tomorrow, I'm taking Henrik Lundqvist. I think he's going to shut him down. If they do not, and we only have Minnesota, Colorado, and L.A. and San Jose, then I'm going to go with Semyon Varlamov. I know he's the highest-priced goalie on the site, but I'm looking for something special tomorrow night. So I don't think the price is going to matter. I
looking
think
for a little something.
Yeah, no, really. I'm talking. We're talking a playoff performance for his lifetime. That's my thought. And as far as the skater, in Game 7, the biggest question is who's going to be the hero. When you're in the locker room and you're with the guys, who's going to be the hero? I'm going to pick Nathan McKinnon. I'm going to say that the rookie's going to write one of the best stories of the first round. He is second, I believe, in the NHL in playoff scoring so far. I think he's going to have another big game. I really like him. He's a really good player.
Usually in these games, it's going to be one of the third or fourth line guys that gets the game-winning goal, I think. One of those guys that goes to the front of the net, digs in there, and that's your hero.
TJ Broshi. Oh, wait.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more, Jason. I really do. Usually it's some unsung hero, some guy that comes out of nowhere, like, who knows, it could be Dwight King for L.A. Forget them.
Now if he scores, watch, he's going to go, I called that.
Yeah,
Guys, I called that. I knew it was going to happen.
No,
you do not get credit for that.
It's going to be Jarrett Stoll.
Fine.
You don't get credit for that either.
And Aaron Andrews will be happy.
All right, we got to move on to NBA for Wednesday. There's some interesting games going on. Dallas, San Antonio, Brooklyn, Toronto, Portland, Houston. I only care about one of these series.
Interesting is the word you used to describe these?
Interesting. They're not my favorite series. My favorite series so far has been Portland, Houston.
We've got to turn you on to Brooklyn, Toronto. You don't like Toronto.
I've watched all the games. I've watched every single game except for all of the Charlotte, Miami games.
A series to be forgotten, I know.
Yeah, I've watched every playoff game so far.
Yeah, but you're not riding high on the Raptors.
The styles they play, it's just not a good style of basketball.
They're still in this. They're still in it big time.
I understand.
So I'm saying 2-2. I am going to watch this game.
Okay, let's start off with that game. Like I said before, it's the playoffs. Paul Pierce will always be consistent. He's always going to get you a stat filler. Even if he scores 10 points, he's still getting you 5 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal. He's been between 22 and 28 the entire series, 11,322. I think he's a must.
Yeah, and it's a safe play.
Definitely. He's been consistent, playing over 30 minutes a game in the playoffs. You got to love the price.
Yep.
Can't go wrong with truth.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys around those prices, especially in this game. You got Joe Johnson. I'm expecting a bounce back out of him after he put up an absolute egg in Game 4.
Yeah, he disappeared in Game 4.
Other than that, he's been great in this series. He's been a real revelation.
Yeah, Brooklyn needs him to score for them to even be in this series pretty much.
Correct.
And he didn't in Game 4. We saw what happened.
Yep. Here's an interesting, on Toronto's side of the ball, they've actually been going small. Valanciunas' minutes are dipping, while Amir Johnson's minutes are going straight up. He played, I think, 21 minutes in Game 2 or something, and played like 38 last game.
Yeah, I still love Nick's boy over here, Patrick Patterson.
Oh, he's been playing
through.
He's been consistently playing 30 minutes.
Yeah, very consistent, 25, 30 minutes a game, coming off the bench. And he's been scoring between 19 and 22 points every game in the series. So.
Yep. I preferably would go for Amir Johnson if you can spend the money. But if you have around that money, Gravis Vasquez has been a must. The whole series, they're going really small. Terrence Ross has been buried because he can't guard Paul Pierce at all.
Yep. Yeah, I love Gravis.
I mean, is he a must start though?
Gravis?
Yeah.
100%.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, his price is so low and his minutes are so high that you really have to.
He's only had one game under value the whole series,
and he's outscoring Lowry and DeRozan as far as a fantasy perspective.
Correct. I wouldn't touch either of them in this series right now because
any idea why that's happening?
Well, he's coming off the bench. He's facing maybe a lesser competition, but he's still. I mean, I don't even know.
I guess really what I meant to ask was what's the story with Lowry moving forward and DeRozan moving forward? Because those two guys
they're new to the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what it is, to be honest. It's
Fair enough.
Growing pains. You're playing a veteran team. They're shutting them down specifically.
Yep.
So unsung heroes are coming out. And you're seeing it.
Fair enough.
All right, Portland, Houston. We got to talk about this. Trey Daniels. I'm calling him Trey Daniels. I don't care. His name is really Troy. Obviously, the Trey nickname is going to stick. It makes sense. I'm playing him. 34-81 on StarFantasyLeagues.com. Over 20 minutes in the last two games. He's getting the ball wide open threes. How are you not guarding this guy?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, the story. He didn't shoot a free throw all season long, and then he comes in and has to hit those free throws at the end of the game, even though they lost. But if you want to fit in some big boys, you got to put them in your line.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I managed to get in Lillard, Aldridge, and Howard, who were my top three plays of the entire day, by putting in Daniels.
I was going to say I would be worried about playing him if Portland actually catches on and they start to guard him, but they're doing everything right anyways. They're up 3-1 in this series, so no reason not to play him.
See, because Harden's still going to get his looks. Are they going to go? Are you going to shy away from Harden to guard Daniels?
Exactly.
No chance in hell.
Exactly. Everything they're doing is working up to this point, so why change anything?
But obviously, we like the big boys: Lillard, Aldridge, Howard. Harden, I'd stay away from.
Yeah.
Even Batum.
Batum's been great.
Huge games the last couple of games.
His price is a little bit up there. I prefer Lillard over Batum.
Yeah, he's a little less than Lillard.
Yeah, he's about like 800 or 1,000, something like that. The last game, honestly, I don't really like all that much about it aside from Manu and Splitter. Do you like anybody outside that?
Yeah, Manu, you got to love Manu.
He's been a awesome playoff beast.
Yeah, 28, 29, 27, 24. Those are his fantasy points this series. On the other side of the ball, the only guy I like on Dallas is probably Dallenberg.
I know.
Surprising
isn't that so sad?
I can't believe it.
I believe it was Zach that said there's no way he replicates that, right?
Yeah, and then he scores 22.
Yeah.
Dallenberg.
If you want to go for the cheap center option, definitely try to go with Dallenberg and Splitter. That allows you to put your money elsewhere. But I have trouble shying away from Howard. You can't
shy away from him right now.
But come on, Aldridge, 51 average in this series over 4 games.
They know who to give the ball to.
That is incredible.
And he's back in Texas.
That is true. Who's your player of the day?
My player of the day is Dwight Howard.
All righty, I'm going with Marcus Aldridge. Gotta love him. Coming up, we are wrapping the show up and giving you the recap on all our plays of the day for Wednesday. And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on the Sports Byline USA Network.
You're listening to the Star Fantasy League show. Contact the StarFantasyLeagues.com guys via Twitter at SFL Show.
We've got an update to our plays of the day. I believe during the break, Jason tried to tell me that he wants to change his play of the day. Do you want to change? Do you want to renege on your Dwight Howard?
I'm going to do that.
Are you? What are you, Zach?
Yes.
Zach does it all the time.
I told you I had his spirit with me today, so that's why I'm going to change my pick to that boy.
You
James
actually
Harden.
Were you afraid to say something about him before? Is that what it was? Were you nervous to come up with? John came out firing with Harden is no good. He's not going to do anything.
Well, I think he might have a little. I think he might shave his beard.
Oh my God!
And he's going to have a huge game. What if he does that? What if he shaves his beard?
I don't know if we do. We have a report to support that?
They won't let him in the arena if he shaves his beard.
Yeah, they'll be like, "Excuse me, sir.
Who
the
are
entrance
you?"
is around the side.
That would be amazing.
Right, we got to get you. We just gave you your NBA plays of the day. Jason just switched to that boy James Harden. Obviously, I'm on the Marcus Aldridge. I've been on him all series. He's been winning me games against Nick, so I'm going to stick with him.
Still love him.
Love him. He's great. All right, for NHL, Nick likes Henrik Lundqvist if the Rangers don't close out tonight. If they do, he likes Semyon Varlamov, my boy, and Nathan McKinnon. And for baseball on Wednesday, Adrian Gonzalez, who couldn't get it done in Fenway Park, but apparently has a resurgence.
Hey, that's not true. He got it done in Fenway. It was Crawford that sucked.
It was Valentine who sucked.
Yeah, fine. That too.
He poisoned Adrian Gonzalez. I'm blaming it on him. He's the scapegoat.
All right.
And Aaron Harang, who just apparently is on fire.
Yeah.
Harangatang.
Harangatang.
Haranga boomerang. No, I got
Haranga
nothing.
orange tang.
I got no names, but you know what I do have? I have lots of value to give away on StarFastLeagues.com. Tweet us at SFL Show for $5 free in your account. No strings attached unless your name is Nick Steblenko.
Listen, I'm going to come up with a Twitter handle one day that you're never even going to be able to know, and
Nope.
I'm just going to slip it right by you.
Nope. Never going to happen. We still got 3 sports going on for Wednesday all week. $50 free rolls on Thursday for baseball. We still got a $1,000 MLB free roll coming up in the future. There's a lot going on at StarFantasyLeagues.com.
Absolutely.
Today's the best day to get involved. Do not miss out on the playoffs. It's probably my favorite part of the year.
Yeah, I really agree. I have to agree 100%. I agree so much that I agree that I agree.
And Jason, hopefully the spirit of Zach has left you for tomorrow's show. I'm really hoping so. And if you're Adam Silver and you want to get Bannon somebody, we'll help you make a better team next time. Take it easy, guys.